Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this Meet the Entrepreneur session. Let me start off by posing 3 questions to both of you. You can, and then we'll use that as a platform to dwell further. I would like both of you to tell us in accessible English, right? When you strip off all the marketing jargon that you might, it's not a sin, but we'd like to know in a more accessible language, what is it that your company does? Or what is it, if you're still sort of in your early days, what do you aspire to do? One. The second question is, what is it that triggered you to say, okay, this is what we need to do rather than something else, right? So you must have spotted either what you might call a gap in the market or something that you felt, as they use in the open source community, you needed to scratch an itch. What is that itch that you're trying to scratch, right? So that's the second thing. And so let's actually start with these couple of questions and then we'll take it from there. May I start with you, Vimal?
Actually, I'm getting into technology around 2015 itself. I was studying BTech Mechanical Engineering at that time. So what inspired me is like, I felt robotics is going to be the future of mankind. So the reason why is like the potential it is growing in each and every part of the country as well as international. I find it this may be something which is going to be the future. And if we know how to handle robotics and all those things, will help us to build a lot of things. So that was my, only technologically I interested in this subject. But then I tried to develop some solutions and all, but I couldn't find any market fit which I can convert something into a business. But what happened is like one of day, there was an accident which has happened in Calicut, as well as continuously another accident happened in Kochi. These accidents happened to some people who works in sanitation. Still now in India, every 5 days, one person is dying due to manual scavenging. So manual scavenging is the problem that I identified. And I find it is something that we can use robotics and technology like that can be used for eliminating manual scavenging. And I also felt that, there's a huge gap in technological perspective in sanitation, handling underground drainage system, things like that. So I thought of that will be something that I can start with. And then when I explored it in international level also, I find that there is no brand. If you take sanitation as something, and just like each and every section, there's no brand. So I find it's a very good opportunity to build a brand in sanitation. So that's how we started. And now we developed a product known as Bandicoot Robot. What does it does is like, it goes into manhole. The name of a manhole is also in the same way that what it means is like it is designed for human being. All the maintenance activity that we need to solve inside manhole is require human level of flexibility. So robotics is a correct fit, technological fit for that. So we have this Bandicoot robot now. It's simply like how a doctor is do a keyhole surgery. Now sanitation workers can handle manholes problems through robotics. So that was the idea. And now our product is got into the market 1 year back. We expanded into 9 states now. Still we are trying to grow. We are trying to address more problems in sanitation. That's what I do. Thank you.
Thank you so much. To you, Senthil.
So I completed my engineering in 2010. I'm basically electronics engineer. And I get a chance to work with Samsung and Qualcomm in their mobile platform and all the wireless technology. So when I was there, the company started because of my sister. She was pregnant and she was in the Madurai, a remote place, like 5 to 10 kilometers away from the main city. And it is her first pregnancy. So what happens is she's first pregnancy. So 30 years before, if any pregnant woman, if you see, they're always surrounded by so many people. Any queries, any doubt, ask no. So lot of people are there, they can ask. But now, because we don't have people, we have a mobile phone. So what my sister is do is whenever some symptoms come, she started searching internet. So we all know how internet works. If you search you have a shoulder pain, it will tell it can be a symptom of heart attack. And the search result will give you a real heart attack to you. So that's what exactly happened to her. She said some pain, stomach pain. The result itself start no, there's a carriage issue, something. especially in the first 3 months, pregnant woman and first time, they're very like worry about it. Like, they want to make sure that the baby cross through the 3 month period, then the follow up. So she get more panic, like a lot of panic. And he called her husband, in-laws, my parents, everyone all gathered, go to the hospital, and they spend like, a whole day in the hospital waiting in the queue. This all just to get 3-minute consulting. So they travel 10 kilometer up and down, wait for 4 hours in the hospital just to get 3-minute consulting. So my sister gets sometime like, I'm feeling bad, like I'm disturbing everyone, like creating scene something. So what she did is she started skipping those symptoms. She don't tell. Like whatever happened to her, she don't tell because I don't want to make everyone panic and then take me to the hospital. So that leads to kind of a complication. At the 5th month, that leads to kind of a complication. And the doctor started scolding my brother-in-law, her husband. You are very careless about her. But he told like, she never tells me. I'm not a doctor. I really don't know. I couldn't able to understand from face. So he come to me and told, you are a brother. Can you please advise her? So she gets some confidence level, feel comfortable. So what I did is, from my childhood, she never listened my advice. So there is no point in advise her. So I directly went to the doctor and asked the doctor, every time my sister comes to you, what exactly you do? So the doctor told I collect her vital information, such as her blood pressure, heart rate, pulse, body temperature, fetal pulse. These are the information I'll collect. And based on the data, I will choose she is good, or she need to take any prescription, or she is in high risk, admit in the hospital. So I asked the doctor, instead of my sister come here every time, if you get all this data digitally, will you able to take a decision or not? And the doctor told, of course, because I'm not doing any tests. The nurse will do outside, write it in the paper. She give me that yellow color paper. I'm prescribing on top of it. So if I get this data, of course, I could able to take a decision. So then I thought like I go to the medical shop and bought all the medical device, the thermometer, all this medical device. I found that all the device has some display. So when I measure my blood pressure, it will tell what is the value. But during pregnancy, it's not a constant value. It varies based on the date, trimester, all the condition. So you are not a right person to see the value and take a decision. So what I did is like, I'm a hardware engineer. So I put all the sensor in a single board and made a very compact product because I know that my sister and her husband only know how to use a mobile phone. Okay, so I designed exactly like a mobile form factor, putting 6 to 7 medical device, bigger medical device into the smaller form factor, and then I gave it to her. And then I designed nice wearable device which do the continuous monitoring. What this device will do is it collects her sleeping pattern, complete sleeping pattern and her activity. And whenever she feel uncomfortable, I told, you just click one button in the application, the device will collect all the vitals and send it to the doctor. Okay. So in the doctor, I told, whenever my sister do checkup, you will receive one SMS. Just click that link. It will open like a yellow color page with all my sister vital informations. Then bottom, there's a 2 button, good and bad. If she press good, after seeing that, I'll send nice smiley to my sister saying, you and your baby is safe, don't need to get panic. So if it is bad, what I did is, I actually in that product, what I did is I instantly connected to the Ola API and informed her husband also and book an appointment in the hospital system. So the cab will go and pick my sister, okay, and they reach the hospital, then appointment time will match. She does not need to wait longer time. She can quickly jump into the consulting room to get that care. So it takes 2 to 3 minutes for overall thing. So this is a product I built for her. And she used it throughout the pregnancy and she blessed with a baby girl. After pregnancy, she told me that she really had a wonderful experience because now she never search internet, rather use this solution. And every time she feel that something happens to me, my doctor is connected because of the wearable. My doctor is connected and my husband is know every data, what happening. So there are a lot of ecosystem is there to help me. That psychologically improved her health. And she told me that I really enjoyed the pregnancy rather than get panic. Okay, and she shared with her friends all those things. So that's how initially it started. After building a real product, I thought in India, especially like every day around 800 mothers dies while delivering a baby through the complication. And all these deaths are happening in a tribal region where the mountaineering, all the region, where the mother has to walk minimum 10 to 20 kilometer to the hospital to get that access. So that's what happens. So when we are interviewing a couple of mother in a remote village, one lady told us at previous pregnancy, the 7th month, the baby died inside the womb. So we want to get the detail, what happened to the baby, why it's died. So we went to the primary healthcare center near to that region, which is around 7 kilometers from their home. So we went, we asked the doctor there, can you give a mother and child card? So as per the government rule, every mother has to maintain the mother and child card. So we asked the card so that we can understand the reason, what happened. But the card says baby born successfully. Now it has an age of 2. Okay, and government spends some 10,000 rupees for every successful delivery. So it says the mother collected the money and signature is done. Okay, and then I realized that this is how India population is 1.3 billion. Okay, because so many fake data is produced. So I take that report and went again to her, and she was so shocked and called her husband. And he told that, sir, I never took her to the hospital because it's too far. Sometimes the delivery happened in the home only in our region. And I was wondered, and I went to the district health officer and told, this taluk, can you please give me a data, baseline data for the past 5 years, how many mothers delivered the baby, can you give the data? And they redirected me to the local primary healthcare center in the region. So I went there. There is one person sitting in the computer, in front of computer. So I'm asking, can you give a 5-year baseline data? So she is like very innocent. She opened Excel sheet. All the woman name is there. And she has some formula to fill the vital information, checkup detail, everything in front of me. And he taking a printout of that Excel sheet and giving to me. Then I asked her, like, this is how you report the data. And she told, my boss told, whenever government, WHO come and ask you, this is a formula, this is how you have to track the Excel sheet. Okay, once done, this is a place to print it and submit the report. So I saw, okay, and I more interacted with the health worker and told, what is your exact role of a health worker? And so, sir, our role is we have to go to every mother home and ensure that they are getting antenatal checkup. Okay, if any high risk mother, we have to ensure they are coming to the hospital taking ultrasound. So the lady told, initial days I was motivated to do this work. I'll really go educate them. But after some time, my friends and colleagues told, if you do this work, if you don't do this work, your salary will be same. Okay, better you can choose don't do the work. So whenever people ask, fake the data, submit the report. This is what I say. Then I understand the problem statement is like government has a lot of app-based solution. We are not savvy in using the application, entering a data. We are not good in that. Okay. Then based on that information, whatever I built for my sister, I just adapted to that ecosystem. So here the model what I built is, I built a wearable device where every mother will be given to that device. The device continuously monitor their parameter and store it inside because they don't have a mobile phone. So every month, twice, the health worker will carry a medical device, our medical device, and go to the mother's home. So with a phone, when they are near to them, this wearable device will sync all the 15 days of data to the phone. Okay, and it authenticates. Now you are in front of Ramya, you are in front of Priya. So the authentication is done and the photo will be displayed for them. So they don't need to worry about where to click, select the patient. No. When they are near to them, the Priyanka photo will appear. So they know that the data is synced for Priyanka. Now they can use the medical device to collect all the 33 different matrix of health matrix from the mother's body. This all collected digitally. That means they need to click one button in the app. No need to fill any application form, entering the blood pressure value, nothing. Just click one button, all the data digitally collected. And this data sent to our AI system. The AI system, what it will do is, it basically shortlists the patient based on the high risk and low risk pattern. And the patient who are in a high risk one, it will give it to the cloud doctor, the expert gynecologist from a government hospital sitting in like Kochi or sitting in Bangalore. Those high risk mother data will be shared to them. So they can see it within 10 minutes, they can give a feedback, instant feedback. And the low risk mother data will be shared to the local primary healthcare center. Okay, they can give a feedback. The next day again, health worker open the app, see all the feedback. Okay, and low risk mother, they will go deliver tablet, nutrition, and the mother who need immediate care, they can take them to the hospital. When this mother with this wearable come to the hospital, we have a device in the primary healthcare center to ensure that all the high risk mother visited the hospital. Okay, for the district side, they have a portal. The health officer has a portal. They can know how many mother in the village, how many of them get a health checkup, how many of them in high risk, and all the high risk mother having a follow-up checkup or not. So this is the entire process flow we did. We did it in Kerala, Wayanad, and Thane district in Maharashtra. So I can show the product. We have a lot of study, especially on the design point study. So I'll show.
Senthil,
Yeah.
I'm going to come back to you with the
Yeah.
product details later because I have a set of questions. You both of you have given me enough material to generate a set of questions and then we can go from there. Okay. So let me, Vimal, you said that, I mean, the whole question of how sanitary workers in the country, so the conditions that they work in is certainly very, despicable to say the least. There's a lot of deaths. They probably compete with the number of mothers who die in terms of percentage of this thing. But, you were mentioning that there is, you said that there is this whole brand, you used that term. How is it that you found support for your product? Because, quite honestly, I've heard a lot of other startups in the country. You get supported, funded through venture capital. I don't know how you did it. If it works somewhere else in the world, then you're respected, right? If you come up with a truly original product that meets a local need that has not been validated in another market, so you start Flipkart in India, you'll get money because it looks like Amazon. But if you start something else like a sanitation product, so how did you manage to, I don't know, maybe find backers for your venture and to actually go and convince people in the municipal arena, which is not a very easy arena to work in. So that I want to look at your user side of it. And then also, how did you train the sanitation workers themselves?
The basic need actually, even after identification, the government of Kerala is also fined. This is a very problematic area. Reason is, manual scavenging is actually illegal in India. MS Act 2016 is actually says that it should not be happen. But it is happening every day. It is happening in Kochi, it's happening in Chennai. Every day, millions of scavengers are entering into the sewerage. All this waste is going place and they are working in. So, what happened in Kerala is one picture of a person inside manhole is actually came in some newspaper. That's where we have a lot of support from medias. So, this is actually questioned. Normally, it won't question, but here it is questioned. So, the Chief Minister of Kerala at that time is seeing this picture and said, we have to solve this problem. So the same time we are also working somehow. And through startup mission that we are having in state, they identified us for solving this particular problem. And they started connecting with the Kerala Water Authority. That was the first connection is happened. But still, in India, what happens is like, it's not very R&D friendly. And just like you said, if we are coming up with a new product or something, everybody is very risk averse. Like they are not ready to try it out. So, and being students, I just passed out at that time from my college. So, being students also, it is not that easy to, go and talk with people, things like that. But at that time, what actually keep going is like, everything that we are experiencing was new to us. It is not something I really didn't went and didn't, in my engineering days, I was hearing the word entrepreneur in my third year. That is also because of IDC. The IDC that is now functioning in our each and every college, which is Entrepreneurship Development Cell. That time also I didn't thought I will become an entrepreneur. I'll rather do some job. That was my aim. But when these things are started working in, my curiosity was to at least build a product and at least do that. That was my intention. So I was just seeking that much level of progress in my discussion, whatever it is. Even I got a tiny amount of money. I tried to build the product and do that. So that's how it's moved. We got permission also. And then the support and payment is actually went through the startup mission support scheme. And that's how we build a prototype. Once prototype is ready, people started feeling that we are serious. We are serious and they seen something is coming up. And what we are trying to patch is actually, for these investors and all those people, they started feeling that this will happen. If we try to solve that before, I don't think we will get an investment fund or anything. So with a prototype, we approached an investor. So it is also not for money or anything, but we just want to do this product and we don't have money. And we didn't find any option as well. Then we find a sum of ventures. We pitched for 2 investors. Both of us are ready for investment somehow, because this is a unique problem area. But still, a lot of hurdles are there. But they thought of the ask that we asking is very genuine for building a product. So they give us, and within that money that we started building the product, and the first product is launched. And somehow we municipality and in Kerala we approached them. We discussed about this problem and the way that we are going to solve. And we worked with the engineers, and we made them believe that this is actually happens in technological level by even showing them the real, this is how it is going to happen. So they also started feeling this is something new. They also started believing it in our dreams. So once it is happened in Kerala, then a lot of people are started believing this will happen everywhere. Soon after that, we got call from Tamil Nadu, and people are started approaching us. So we felt it like it is approachable and this is scalable also. That's the first time I was also thinking that to become a real company. Till that time, I was not even having that in my mind. So once it is started applying, we have to build enough ecosystem to sustain this product growth. So enough R&D has to happen in the product. Enough implementation team has to be there for implementing in the field, and enough support team should be there. Enough production team should be there. These actually, a company's growth is not something that we learn. It is something that we identified the need and we set up. So that's how we created Genrobotics, and that's how the entire structure, the organization, things and everything is formed. It's quite natural. It's nothing was there that we thought we learned from some book and put it inside. No, it's like there's a need to run this particular thing. We fix that need through some management reason or some persons or some system or something like that. Then one of the biggest challenge that we faced in this implementation was not building a product, but rather it is to how to teach these illiterate sanitation workers to operate this machine. Why it became a big need is because India is very tricky in all aspects, because we have a very unorganized structure somehow running very fine. So in this, the each and every level of administration, people have different problems. Government has to satisfy people. Administration has to satisfy law, rules and regulation and these politicians. So in this game, we have to satisfy everybody. That's how this has to run. So one of the biggest challenges government is actually going to play, phase is going to be if these people become unemployment, especially in Kerala. It won't something that people will allow. So we have to somehow face that. So we thought of building some very good user experience kind of design, where the machine will make it very easy. It's not like a robotic program language or anything, but rather it will be simple graphical representation. How a person is playing a game. That easy we made the user interface. When we started doing it, we got a lot of support also. That's the first time I started believing that there was a huge big court, where if you really want to do something, the whole world will stay with you. It's true, guys. It's really true. So I really faced that. So Google is actually came forward to help us in building a very good user interface. So that's the first time I met Senthil also. He was also there somehow. So we worked together at that time, and we built a user experience design for these sanitation workers in their different languages, and by reducing the complexity of various regions in India. And initially it was 1 month to train a manual scavenger, then it reduced to 1 day to train a manual scavenger. So now our training schedule is 3 days, all the maintenance activities and everything. That's how this is progressed.
Okay, but I understand how you train them. I have a more basic question. Have you ever entered a manhole yourself?
Yeah, actually, in the first part of you still have a question?
Yeah, so why I'm asking that is, see, he had a sister who was able to tell him where the problem really lay, the monitoring of these various parameters. Now, on the other hand, you are aware, you're sympathetic of the conditions of these scavengers, manual scavengers, but how do you know, or how were you able to actually get a sense of the conditions that they were actually experiencing? Did you go on a probe into the manhole, or how did they, you really have to get a sense, right? So before you build the product?
Yeah, actually, once this problem came to us, this is a very tricky problem. We are facing a lot of challenges in the maintenance activity of the robot also, because of it deals with sanitation. So the first part is learning what is the problem in exact ways. People will say manual scavenging is a problem. People entering into sanitation is a problem. but the dimension of the manhole, the size of the manhole, what are the conditions, and we started approaching different municipalities. But what happened is like even the the sewer system that we are having right now in Kerala and almost all the part of India, they are centuries old. When British was there, they built this thing. And Kerala, we are having very less sanitation, drainage systems and all. So data for these things are not there, literally not there. So we started, finding these data through whatever which is there from the local authority. We got little, and then we started asking, the sanitation workers and all. We go with them, we learn with them, we try to learn how they are doing it. So 2-3 times initially when we, even the manhole, the open, the smell itself is actually made us all not able to even having a food. So the situation is that worst for people like us, but these people are handling it for years, centuries. They are also into this. A particular caste is doing this job. For them, it is nothing. For them, it is a job. From them, it is something that they are, belong to do. That's what they believe. But up to that point itself, we all are gone. And then we use the camera techniques and all to, get the information from manhole. And our solution is like, after understanding a basic structure of manhole, the solution that with the program which is runs inside the robot is, it will capture all the videos. It will have ultrasonic things also to understand the dimensions of manhole. And with that data, the robot itself create a map of how it is inside. And then as per that, it will do the task. Because each and every manhole will be different, and the problems inside the sanitation is also different. So you cannot give a flexible thing. And even if somebody gives a design to you, because a lot of corruptions happen, the design which is there in real will not be the same. So we did it in a way that which is very flexible. Each and every case, the robot will do in that task.
So it will clean accordingly.
Yeah.
And of course, there is also the other problem that in many parts of the country, this is also very caste-based. There are only certain castes that will do manual scavenging, not everybody else. But thank you for that, this thing. To come back to you, Senthil, why don't you show us your product? Do you have a little model of your robot here?
No,
No,
not actually.
okay.
Sorry.
Then at least we'll ask
Yeah,
him
yeah.
to share with us what he has built over the years.
Basically, this is our wearable device. One is like this is a wrist form factor, and this is a neck form factor. The real chip is here, and based on their interest, they can change the strap if it is a rural, urban woman. And there is a big story for such a design. Initially, we designed like gold color bracelet. That's what we gave it to the mother, and we started observing a data from our backend system. Sometime it looked like 80,000 steps a day, and we are wondering why this mother is running 80,000 steps a day. So we are always wondering why the data is weird and coming. We thought might be something wrong in the product. So we went to that village, and we found that she never wears a device. She don't have a device. And we asked them did you lost the device or where it went? And she told me the reason that the husband took the device, saying that for doing a kitchen work, you only need a smartwatch. Give the watch to me. Okay, I'm going outside. So all the 85,000 steps is from a husband. Our algorithm got literally confused with the data set. So, and other woman we asked, she told, sir, this looks very glorious, very gadget kind of a thing. And my all other friends are teasing me. They're saying that, oh, you are rich, you have such a wearable, and we are poor. So in that community, they start teasing. So she don't want to wear. So she simply keep it on the the place, some place inside. So with that inspiration and this all tribal woman, they already have something on their neck. They will put it in the bead kind of a thing. And we asked them, do you wear all the time? They told, yeah, from a childhood I'm wearing. Then we made a small chip and put it on their design.
This raises actually a couple of questions. I mean, you've been emphasizing the tribal bit so far, but I've done work on sort of tuberculosis patients, for example, especially in urban areas and construction sites. They're often unwilling to even reveal that they have TB because it's infectious. People will avoid them. So if you discreetly give this to say TB patients and you can monitor them and they take their medicines and so on, then it can potentially be very helpful. Don't you agree?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay, let me have a follow-up question with that. In the sense, see, what you suggested, what you sort of mentioned earlier, Senthil, was that you said you have a device, it downloads to something, the doctor sees it, then you have this connection with the Ola and somebody who will take them over. So, I mean, this requires a significant amount of integration into both medical and non-medical actors before this kind of care can be delivered. Now, to what extent are you confident? I mean, you may be able to do it in a relatively sort of self-contained, if I may use the term, area like in Wayanad or in some remote part of Thane district, right? But if you were to do it in a more, shall we say, densely populated area, urban, rural, whatever, do you think it's feasible? What are the other challenges that you anticipate when you do it either for monitoring other conditions, not just pregnancy? Because if you have a chip, you can monitor virtually anything, say diabetics, etc.
Yeah.
Do you see any problems or challenges? And B, do you see any challenges if you change the geography of operation?
Yeah. So while designing itself, we understand that this is going for a general healthcare, but our initial focus is pregnancy because it can really validate the product and show real good impact. So instead of I saved 100 diabetics, if I say 100 pregnant women, the story is good at initial phase. That's why we go for that market. But we know that every architecture we did, it's all API enabled architecture. If we want to plug and play, it's easy. And while starting itself, we come up with all the languages. It's like Google API we integrated. So whatever local language they want, they can use it. And now we have integrated with a voice interface. Like they can ask, how is my health? It can still read. So while architecting itself, we know that next 100 years, this is going to be the world's biggest problem. Because AI can automate everything, not delivering a baby. So this is an innovation going to stand for next 100 years. Mother can only deliver the baby. So we understand and architect accordingly in an early phase.
No, I think my question is a little different. I'm not questioning the ability of this thing to deliver. What I'm saying is, if you're faced with other, medical conditions, so you're saying your API will take care of that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also, if you have other sort of geographical conditions, that will also be because there's a social dimension to this. You provided the technology. It's the integration into the medical system and other non-medical actors who will be able to take care of this lady who might be faced with a tricky situation. Integration is the bigger challenge, right? So that becomes the question, and convincing health authorities and other authorities may be a issue. That is, I'm just trying to think aloud, not sort of, and I accept what you've done, it's fascinating, but I'm just trying to sort of think aloud from a larger design perspective, from a design for integrating it into a set of social circumstances.
Yeah. So, basically, initially we started with the two segment. One is like premium urban segment and then bottom of the pyramid.
Okay.
So when our architect Hitler started in the two segment, because when you work with a bigger hospital, they already have an EMR, everything is ready.
Yes.
You don't need to develop an end-to-end solution. So our team focus on API-driven architecture so that it can plug into their ecosystem. Okay. In the bottom of the pyramid, we already work with their EMR and we know how it works. So we can able to miniature that EMR and work for a primary healthcare center. Okay. So benefited for us.
I want to ask you, one question. I mean, this whole question of sanitation or manual sanitation is a challenge not just in India but in many countries. If you go to, except maybe very advanced countries, they have automatic cleaning and all that. So have you seen yourself, or do you see yourself, now that you've gone across 8 or 9 states, sort of sharing this solution with other parts of the world? Have you thought about it? Do you require a change of the way you run or operate or develop technology?
As I told, sanitation is something that we have a lot of equipment in the space administration. We have a lot of equipment in atomic reactors, things like that. But if you consider sanitation in a global way also, there's no such a brands inside and no technology inside, because there are robotics, artificial intelligence, machine learning and everything. But all those are actually designed for, room temperature maybe or room conditions. But sanitation is something which is very much into a lot of sewage water, lot of corrosion, and the challenges inside the sanitation is totally different. So we have to, upgrade all this technology for a particular purposes. Yes, we seen that this is a problem of all the, countries where 3 months back, 2 people have died in Pennsylvania, in US. 2 people had entered into manhole, then died. Inside a highly developed country also this is happening. But they do with a lot of safety. They do with a lot of safety where people's death rate is comparatively less from India. India, every 5 days, 1 person. And today I read a newspaper where this year, 85 people are so far, died legally, officially, by doing this particular job. So we identified, other opportunities are there, other countries are there. But we feel that ecosystem of India is very fine, and they are very much open for sanitation right now with all such bars and all those things. So this is a very good time for driving this company as well as innovation into different part of India. That's what our aim right now. But yes, from other countries also a lot of requests came to implement over there. So being in Kerala, it is very accessible to Middle East. We are now signed a MOU with Dubai municipality and implementing this robotic solutions into Dubai municipality. We are working with the team right now itself, and just like that, Sharjah municipality and Qatar, 3 regions in UAE we are working now. And we feel that it is not very much time to start in some foreign country other than this, because the cost of getting into that foreign market is tremendous. So we feel that we can explore more in Indian market and get into a next level where we can handle all this foreign market as well.
But from a design point of view, you don't see many changes?
Yes, of course, because in India the standard of design which is required for sanitation is not that much restriction are there. Certification restrictions are not there in this field, but specific areas, because we now work with refineries also, BPCL refinery. On certain stages they need a special certification of explosion proof, things like that. Especially the markets like US and UK, they need a lot of explosion proof certifications to put into sanitation, and taking that kind of certification itself is very costly procedure, and we have to put a lot of effort in the design, focus, things like that. And one major incident which is happened just before now is like the project is actually getting scaling. So it's like when we started, it is approximately 1 machines per 3 months. That was 1 year back when we started. But it is more than enough to run for us, because we are being a small startup and all. Then it is started growing, and the companies also started growing in the very parallel passion. And then it is started every month we have to deliver 1 robot in different places. And then the employees also get started increasing. And now we are having more than 70 people working in this organization, and the burn rate is quite high. And every month we are now shipping around more than 7 robots so far into different parts of India. And afterwards, we feel that at the end of this financial year, we are working on a lot of CSR projects. So all the CSR project is going to end on each and every financial year. So we accept the number of requirement will quite high. And somehow we are able to tie up with Tata. Tata Motors in Pune, they are going to now manufacture products for us. So this is our strategy. So this is what I told just before also. You don't need to think all the things when we trying to do some particular mission or particular to start working for a particular dream. Things will fall in place. If you are genuine, if you are sending the right energy to the universe, things will fall in place. In right time, everything will get fixed up. So that's how we run, Genrobotics.
Well, that's a very heartwarming story. Now, let me just quickly turn to the audience and ask if there are any questions to this really inspiring entrepreneurs, very different stories, very different areas, but certainly very socially relevant areas. Anything that the audience would like to ask and sort of have them respond? I mean, you're not going to get this opportunity often, right? No? Okay, I don't know about the time constraint, how long it will take, but if you can do it on the side, I don't mind at all, but I don't know what the time situation is.
Actually, it is there in all the social medias as well as YouTube also. You just need to search Bandicoot, BANDICOOT, Bandicoot Genrobotics. It is there.
Okay. All right. Okay. If there are no further questions, please give. You have one, please. Yes.
To Mr. Senthil sir, you are saying that this device comes in like a shape of a ring or something, I mean like a wristwatch or something. What if someone else wears that and what if someone else wears that?
See, this is the device.
Okay.
Whatever wearable right now you wear, just
Okay.
attach this one.
Yeah.
Then that become a smart device.
No, what I'm asking is, if someone else wear the device unknowingly or something, what happens?
You have to configure through the application to enable the device to function.
Okay.
If someone wears, still it collects the steps, the sleep
it
pattern.
wrongly collect the data, right?
Yeah, it still collects the data.
Yeah.
Okay, but we ensured that the mother wear the device all the time.
Yeah.
So someone's, it can be in a different segment, like especially on Volt Care, people can wear and it alert
Like
them.
you said, the case of husband wearing the bracelet for some time.
Yeah.
Maybe some kids or someone can use that for a long time and they may not know that they are wearing this.
Yeah,
Because
so-
they have the same kind of beads system at their house. Mistakenly, they can wear that. So you have any individual identification system that this represents to Priya, this represents to Remya, something like that?
Yeah, that pairing we have to do with the application level. That pairing we do, but we ensure, that's why like no, we don't want mother to remove the device. So it has more than 10-month battery life. So throughout the pregnancy, they basically don't remove the device.
Okay.
And it's waterproof. That's why we attached with that existing wearable.
And to Vimal, actually, I have seen that manual scavenging when I was in Chennai, and I'm very thankful to you that you have thought about this kind of a design. Thank you so much.
All right. So give the entrepreneurs a big round of applause and thank you for a wonderful session. Thank you.
So much.